the man who was arrested last week following the discovery of 6 bodies. Well, 5 of them, we understand, were at a decomposed state. Well, he's appeared in court today, but there's been a delay in the matter because the identity parade is yet to happen. Those women are all believed to have been sex workers. Tracking the story for us is our reporter, Zikhona Tshona. Zikhona is with me now in studios to talk about why this ID parade has not happened.
So the reason the matter was postponed last week Tuesday to this week Tuesday was because the state told the court that it needs time to conduct an ID parade. Today it said it failed to conduct this ID parade. It actually blamed the suspect in this matter, saying that the suspect refused to participate in an ID parade without the presence of his lawyer. But his lawyer got up in court and said this is completely wrong. The suspect was ready to participate in an ID parade both on Friday as well as Sunday last week, but the state did not show up. Another matter in the court that came out of court today is the issue of the suspect being moved from Sun City Correctional Services to Johannesburg Central Prison. This is something the accused brought before court last week, and the state was meant to ensure that there's a letter by today to ensure that this suspect is indeed able to be moved from Sun City to Johannesburg Central Prison. The NPA then coming out from those court proceedings to say that they accept they were not well prepared for court today because the court then had to take a short adjournment to allow the state time to consult with the South African Police Service for the letter for the suspect to be moved to Johannesburg Central Prison to be brought before court. Let's take a listen to what the NPA had to say after court proceedings today.
Well, it's an indication that we came less prepared. We could have prepared better, knowing the kind of application that we wanted to bring before court. It was for the investigating officer and the prosecutor to ensure that the letter from the station commander is ready before court could start. But these are errors that can be corrected, and it's now up to us as both the NPA and SAPS to call ourselves to order, sit together and ensure that we prepare better, as expected from us anyway.
So, Zikhona, also speaking to you outside court have been some of the other sex workers. At this point, this man has only been linked to the murder of one of the sex workers, right? He's only a suspect in that case. But they still say that they live in fear.
Certainly. So inside and outside court, people have been angered by this. In fact, the magistrate had to warn people to not shout or how insults at the suspect inside court, reminding them that these are court proceedings and that those present in court are in fact doing their jobs. Outside court, a large number of people came to protest. They include sex workers, they include activists, as well as families of the people whose bodies were found in that building in Johannesburg last week, or 2 weeks ago on Sunday rather. So people are angry. Sex workers say they now live in fear. They don't know whether they'll be next. And it's also taken away from the work that they do because they can no longer do it the way that they would ordinarily do it, given the fact that they now fear for their lives. The one that we spoke to outside court today saying that they've now moved to operating inside pubs or clubs, for example, and they say it simply doesn't work for them because their clientele is used to finding them in the streets of Johannesburg. But she's also lost a friend. Her friend is one of those whose bodies was found in that building. So she's heartbroken, which is why she felt it was important for her to be outside court today to protest, saying that she's very hurt and she hopes that whoever did this to her friend and to all the other victims involved here does not get bail.
Some of us, we usually get money on the street outside. We are not used to go and stay in clubs. So now it's difficult for us to work. And I think even men now, they are starting to get scared to come outside on the street because gun shooting everywhere and we never know who is passing and who. We are even scared to work outside. Like the past week, I've never been able to work the whole week. We are scared to work and there is no money at all. It's been difficult to work.
Where to next then?
So the state has told the court that it will be ready for the ID parade on Friday, and the matter has now been postponed to the 25th of October. If you can also just add, we spoke to some of the families of the people who died or whose bodies were found in that building. I managed to speak to some of them outside court. That interview can be expected on Newzroom Afrika just a little bit later on. But also the families have not had access to the bodies for the burial. So that interview coming on later on Newzroom Afrika.
Zikhona, thank you for your reporting and we look forward to seeing that piece once it's ready for broadcast.